find ourselves today are the victims of three evils. We are landless, we are the victims of capitalism, and we're the victims of racism. Any ideology that seeks to deal with the problems of the African, the black man, must talk about these three major problems. And the ideology must be based on dialectics. Dialectics is merely opposites. Brother Malcolm, in his message to the grassroots, says that revolution knows no compromise. Revolution knows no compromise. Brother Malcolm is correct. He understood that revolution is based on the philosophy of dialectics. They're opposites. They're opposites that are constantly struggling, and they're struggling against a very practical scientific law. The law simply says that two objects cannot occupy the same space at the same time. At the same time. Thus, if you understand this correctly, and these opposites are diametrically opposed, thus, if you understand this correctly, you will understand that there can be no compromise in revolution. One will survive, and one must be destroyed. It's as simple as that. So if you're talking about revolution, know what you speak of. The Vietnamese are revolutionary. They say, we will win or we will die. If you say you're revolutionary, understand you're not talking about losing. There can be no losing. Either we win or we die. Very simple. Very simple. Philosophy of dialectics. Opposites. We live in a system that oppresses us on a worldwide basis, European imperialism. We must propose a system which is diametrically opposed to this system. And our new system must occupy this space. Only one will occupy. Our system must be so diametrically opposed to the system under which we live that none of the characteristics of this system will be able to come into our new system. It must be diametrically opposed. You must understand. There's something you must understand about a revolutionary. The major preoccupation of a revolutionary is in creating, building, not destroying. The major preoccupation of a revolutionary is in building, creating, not destroying. The revolutionary must destroy, but destruction is an inevitable consequence of his building. Destruction is an inevitable consequence of his building. He has to destroy. Like, for us to live, we've got to destroy America. That's tough. That's just not our problem. We got to build. We have to build. Thus, the major preoccupation of the revolutionary is always concerned with building. When you see so-called revolutionaries on television talking about they're going to destroy, they're going to do this, they're going to do that, and don't talk about building, know that they are not revolutionary. They're just jiving. They're just jiving. A true revolutionary must propose a viable alternative to the masses. That's his responsibility. He must propose a viable alternative to the masses which is clear, which they can see, because the masses are going to have to be willing to die, fight, and more importantly, kill for that new system. Thus, they must understand it correctly and properly so that they will know not what only they're dying for, but more importantly, what they are killing for. You must understand this. Something else you need to know about revolution. Revolution is based on truth and justice with a capital T and a capital J. It may sound romantic, but it is a fact. In order for revolutionary struggles to succeed, they must be proposed on truthful and just systems. They have to be. That's the only reason they succeed. The Vietnamese are revolutionary. They say we will win because ours is a just struggle. And they will win because theirs is a just struggle. The Palestinian Arabs say that we will win because our struggle is just, and the Arabs will win. Theirs is a just struggle. And we, the Africans, of course, we will win because of all the struggles, ours is the most just. We are a landless people. We are a landless people. If you understand anything about revolution, and I'm sure you do, you understand, Brother Malcolm. I read. from the message to the grassroots. If you cannot read, it's on record. So I'm sure you can slip it in. No excuse. No excuse. If you can't read, if you don't like to read, there's no excuse. It's on record. So in between Aretha and Wilson Pickett, and if you're black enough for Miriam Makeba, you can slip it on. You can slip it on. I have to say that they're boycotting my wife. I got to give her some kind of advertisement. Brother Malcolm, page 8 and 9. The Chinese Revolution, they wanted land. The Algerians were revolutionists. They wanted land. France offered to let them be integrated into France. They told France, to hell with France. They wanted some land, not some France. Land. Land, says Brother Malcolm, is the basis of independence. Revolution, says Brother Malcolm, in the final analysis is based on the question of land. L-A-N-D, land. Thus, if you're talking about revolution, you must only be talking about land in the final analysis. L-A-N-D, land. Revolution is not about ecology. Revolution is not about promiscuity. Revolution is not about vulgarity. Revolution is not about the right to take pot. Revolution is about land. L-A-N-D, land. Land. Thus, if we say we are revolutionary, we are talking about taking, seizing, and controlling some land. We must have some land. We must have land. If you don't own land, you are dependent upon those who own the land. We must have land. It is from the land that we get everything. The clothes we wear comes from the land in the form of the cotton that we pick. What we eat comes from the land in the form of the agricultural foodstuffs that we grow. All of the materials necessary for a technological and industrialized society comes from the land in the form of raw resources, copper, zinc, oil, etc., etc., etc. Land, then, is the basis of revolution. Land is what we must fight for. Once we control the land, we will control the superstructure, which is the system that rests upon that land. Land, my brothers and sisters, land if you've been reading Brother Malcolm X. Land if you understand Ho Chi Minh. Land if you understand Mao Zedong. Land if you understand Ahmed Sekou Touré. Land if you understand Osajifo, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. And as simple and humble as I am, I also say land.